What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Twisted Twenties. This is a podcast dedicated to reminding you of your God given purpose through personal testimonies, trials, and personal revelations. I believe that each and every single one of us was created with a purpose for a purpose, but it is up to us to align with it. I'm your host, T. Louise, and I am so excited, y'all. This is our first episode of 2023, and let me tell y'all, your girl is finally on YouTube. So if you prefer to see your girl live and in action, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and you can now watch me on YouTube. And if you are joining me on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because you do not want to miss out on any episodes of Twisted 20s as well as my other content on YouTube. Y'all, I am so excited because guys really doing like a new thing this year for me. And I'm so excited to just chat and check in with y'all because it's been a while since I put out an episode. But I wanted to go on and relaunch Twisted 20s, and this year I have some special guests lined up, so you guys will start hearing a little bit more of not just my voice but other people's voices as well. So I'm really excited about that. But with that being said, y'all, I am still looking for co-hosts. If you would love to join me on Twisted 20s, I would love to have you. Please send me a 1 to 2 minute video to submissions@twisted20s.org. And if you don't want to be a co-host, that's cool, no pressure, but I would still love to hear from you. I would still love to know how this podcast has been impacting your life because I truly, truly, truly strive each and every episode to be impactful. With that being said, y'all, we about to go ahead and get into today's podcast episode. All right, so I feel like I have so much to check in with y'all about. First of all, let me just say I am currently on my fast. I didn't want to really like publicize it or like tell everybody about it, but I feel like it is very important for me to share the journey that I'm embarking on. So, last year before literally like at the literally at the end game of 2022, I had an emotional breakthrough with God. And the emotional breakthrough that I had with him was something that I had been needing for so long, things that I had really been like holding in, anger, resentment, irritation, unforgiveness, all these type of things that I had been holding towards God, dealing with the loss of my mom. And so I didn't really, I really didn't think nothing of it. But of course, me being in therapy, I asked my therapist, I was like, do you think that I am still upset with God or angry with God or mad at God for taking my mom away? My therapist, of course, if y'all have not read this on my blog, I talked about this. My therapist, she did not give me a yes or no answer, and that irritated me even more because I'm like, I just want you to tell me what's wrong. I don't want you to make me dive into what's going on. But she was like, that is something that you need to decide. And so right then and there, I had decided that yes, I was still upset. I was still mad. I was still angry with God, but I wasn't ready to let that go. So one night, God woke me up out of my sleep by the smell of dog boo-boo. Like, I'm sharing this with y'all. I promise you it has a point. I don't even remember if I shared this on my last episode of the year, but God woke me up out of my sleep by the smell of dog boo-boo. Now, if any of y'all have a dog, if you smell dog boo-boo in the middle of your sleep, you get up in a panic. You think your dog done boo-booed in your room. So I got up. I didn't see anything on the floor. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my dog has boo-boo in our bed. I was livid. So I wake babe up. I'm like, babe, get up, get up. Do you not smell that? Do you not smell the boo-boo? And as soon as he woke up, like literally the smell went away. I was so confused. And so I tried to go back to bed. I could not go back to sleep. Like, I could not go to sleep. And so I just felt God tugging on my heart and just tugging and tugging and tugging. So then I heard God say, y'all need to get up and pray. And I was like, oh my gosh. I think it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Actually, you know what? I take that back. God woke me up at 2:22 a.m. That's what time it was. 2:22. So I sat up in the bed and I tapped Babe. I was like, babe, we need to get up. God said we need to pray. He was like, huh? And it's not a normal for me to wake up and say, babe, we need to pray. I used to wake him up literally at like the crack of dawn, 5 o'clock. We used to get up and pray all the time. So it's not a normal or unusual for him, to hear me say we need to get up and pray. So we got up, he started praying, and we prayed completely different. But, I do believe both of our prayers always reach God. So after he prays, I sit on the side of the bed because I'm like, I'm about to go in, because every time I pray to God, I go in. Like, I really consider myself to be like an intercessor, and I like to pray for, other people and, take other people's issues to God type of thing. So I'm like, I'm about to go in. I did not expect the outcome that I had. And so as I was sitting on the side of the bed, I just started pouring my heart out to God. And I said, God, you really broke my heart. And really and truly just started pouring out to him. And I just started crying. And I heard the words, God, I forgive you. And I will talk more about this throughout the year. I have a full episode that's going to be dedicated to the subject of forgiveness towards God. Because I think a lot of us think that we don't have to forgive God, or, because God doesn't make mistakes. So, I have heard people say you don't have to forgive God, or you shouldn't forgive God. But I think oftentimes when certain things happen in our lives, we do hold a unforgiveness towards God. And that is the part that we have to let go of. That is the part that we have to forgive ourselves, one. But we also, just like people hurt our feelings, God hurts our feelings. And God really and truly broke my heart when he took my mom. And so I really just had this moment where I had to break down and cry to him about that. And so after I had that full moment, like full 360 moment with God, I felt renewed, and I felt like, okay, now I need to do this. I need to do X, Y, and Z, because I had been trying to do a fast, particularly a Daniel's fast, for maybe the whole 2022, and I never could do it, and I didn't know why. And so at the beginning of the year, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to do my Daniel's fast. Now, don't get me wrong, y'all. I have been cheating on this Daniel's fast. But I also have not been overdoing it, and I don't feel convicted. I do feel like what God is needing me to do is change my eating habits, change my health, look at the way that I look at my health and eating from a different perspective. And I think that that's why I don't feel more convicted about it, because honestly, I don't feel like I'm on a fast. I just feel like I'm changing my health. I'm changing my lifestyle. I'm changing the things that I put into my body. I'm more intentional with what I eat. I'm more intentional with what I drink. I've been doing a lot of juicing, eating a lot of vegetables, and I've been juicing the fruits and vegetables I don't like, y'all. I do not like beets, but I do make a bomb beet juice, okay? I don't like to eat them, but the juice I make is fire. But right now I'm not going to even say fasting, but in a way I am. I'm fasting from, foods that I shouldn't be eating. I'm fasting from foods that I typically love to enjoy, and I am starting to replace those with things that I feel like God is needing me to partake in so that I can be healthy. There's a lot of new beginnings in my life. I recently just found out, and I don't know yet. I'm going to the doctor to find out more information. The way I started that off made me feel like I was finna tell y'all I was pregnant. But I am not pregnant. But I'm going to the doctor to finally figure out what's going on with my vision. Since my mom passed, I have been dealing with excruciating migraines, and I kind of semi lost vision in my left eye. And so nobody has been able to tell me since 2019 what is going on with me. And I finally have figured out what's going on. And so now I have to go see like a whole bunch of specialists and things like that. But I'm finally excited to see what's going on. And I do believe that God is connecting me and putting me in the right places, putting me in the right spaces to meet the right doctors, to meet the right people. And so that's one of the new beginnings in my life. And as well as I'm working on relaunching the Major Comeback. Twisted Twenties is going on YouTube now. And I'm just so excited for everything that God is doing. I got my little notes here on my phone so I can keep up with what I'm talking about. But I also have a new job. If you guys have not read my blog, A New Job, Who This, you need to go check it out at the twistedtwenties.org website because, listen, okay, I have a new job. It's a job that I got during like holiday season. You know how like all the jobs be hiring during the holiday season. Well, they decided to keep me on as a permanent employee. And I go in the blog, I talk about how I believe that God blessed me with a permanent job because of my obedience throughout the year of 2022. I was very consistent with my podcast. Every episode that he needed me to put out, I put out. And so I feel like because of that obedience, God rewarded me and he allowed me to be able to have a full-time job. This is my first full-time job since I was in college. I have not had a job since I was in college. And I think that was like 2017, either like 2017, 2018. And so I've always worked in retail. If you know me, I've always worked in retail. Last year I worked for Bath and Body Works. I talk about that in the blog as well, which was like literally like a job from hell. Like I literally hated that job. And I felt horrible when they didn't hire me on permanently. I really, really downed myself about it. But then God really blessed me when he allowed me to get hired at the job that I'm currently at, which is, I think that I can say now, since I'm a permanent employee. Well, anyway, you guys, I work for Nordstrom. If you guys don't know what Nordstrom is, it's like a huge retail, I lost my train of thought. It's like a huge retail store, like competitors is like Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's. And it's by far been like probably like one of the best retail jobs I have ever had. And I'm really picky when it comes to jobs. But it has been a blessing that I have been able to work for them. And I truly enjoy working for them. A few things before I wrap this episode up, because this episode is really just like a catch up, y'all. Like, y'all really about to get these episodes this year. Like, I am so excited for the ideas that God is pouring into me. I'm gonna have my girl Michaela. We're gonna be talking in a few weeks about from hot girl to holy girl. Like, it's so many things that I'm gonna be bringing forth this year. So many ideas, so many special guests. I'm gonna have my pastor on, I do believe, next week, and we're gonna be diving in to the perspective of me versus the world. I think so many times we grow up with that perspective, and it's like, I gotta do this, it's all on me, when in reality, changing your perspective is key. And so I want you to think about that this year. I want you to think about how are you going to change your perspective this year. I was talking to my sister, my best friend, and I told her, I said, instead of allowing yourself to beat yourself up about your mistakes, everything that you've done, because we've all made mistakes, I want you to change your perspective this year. I want you to look at your mistakes and say, how is God going to use what I've done? How is he going to use these mistakes to not only glorify his name, but impact and help someone else? Because every mistake that I have made is the reason why I have Twisted Twenties. Every mistake, everything that I was ashamed of, I have literally shared with y'all. Like, I literally came on here and told y'all that I was sleeping with 2 dudes at the same time, got an STD. Like, I share all of that with y'all, not because, I'm embarrassed, not because I'm shameful, but because I really want to impact your life. I really want to help you to understand, how your choices affect, your life, your consequences and things of that nature. But In 2023, we are no longer, okay, we are doing things differently. We are no longer moving in stagnation, procrastination, or disobedience, okay? 2023, we are doing things differently. I want you to embrace this year. I want you to be mindful, and I also want you to be intentional with every single thing that you do this year. I believe that I really and truly believe wholeheartedly that this is going to be like one of my best years ever. I'm working on entering Twisted 20s into a film podcast competition. I just don't know what episode yet. And I think I have to like February 28th. So I really need to really crack down on which episode I'm going to enter in the competition, because I can only enter up to 5 minutes. So I'm really asking God, what 5 minutes of what episode is going to be impactful, glorify his name, but also captivate the ears of whoever is listening. So I just encourage you that this year to be obedient, to not move in stagnation, to not allow yourself to procrastinate with any dream, any idea, any goal that you have. I encourage you to go full force with it. I really and truly do, because I really and truly believe that God is going to be backing up his kingdom. I believe that God is going to be pouring out his spirit amongst his kingdom. I believe that God is going to be supplying us with every need, everything that we need to go after, everything that he has called us to. I believe that this year he is going to be supplying and restoring everything that we have lost. And it's literally January 14th. The second day of January, I saw God, and I saw him restoring and bringing back things in my life that I thought that I was never going to get back. Things that I thought that I had lost due to depression or disobedience or fear. And he's literally like, I am literally restoring that. But instead of restoring it how I saw it, he is restoring it in the way that he desires it to be. And so I am so excited. Like, I really could go on and on about all the updates I have, but that is all I'm going to give y'all for now, because y'all can't get everything. But please, please, please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? There are other videos that are going to be coming. I'm really working on building my plus size brand, my fashion brand. I'm going to be doing a lot of I always say blogs. I will be doing actually a lot of blogs. You will be getting a lot of blogs out of me this year on Twisted 20s. So if you are not subscribed to my mailing list, make sure you head over to twisted20s.org and subscribe to my mailing list, but also subscribe to my YouTube channel to just really see my day-to-day, like to really see the behind the scenes of Twisted 20s. Because as much as I'm intimate with you guys on my podcast, I'm going to be as intimate on my YouTube channel, because I believe that authenticity, I hope I'm saying it right. I've been practicing that word, but I really and truly believe that me being my authentic self is what's going to help me to build my brand and impact the lives of people around me. So anyway, with that being said, y'all, that is all I have for y'all today. I'm not going to keep y'all long. I know it was probably like 15 minutes, but I really love you guys, and I am so excited for you guys to join me on another year of Twisted 20s. And I'm so excited for what God has in store. And remember, this year we are doing things differently. No more stagnation, no more procrastination, and no more disobedience. I love you guys. Peace, love, and blessings. T. Louise.